So thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to start off by hearing about how you came to Long Beach Island.
Okay, well, it was about 16 years ago. First wife and I decided that we were looking to move, and we always wanted to be down by the shore. So a friend of ours, a neighbor, came over one day and said, "I'm moving. We're moving to a town called Barnegat, right on the on Jersey Shore, outside of Long Beach Island, and an adult community." So we followed suit. About 6 months later, we came in. We bought a home. We would go, we had been active in the community, Jewish community in Old Bridge, for close to 20 some odd years. So we came down here, and my wife, who had suffered from MS, was no longer interested in becoming involved with a Jewish community. We knew where it was because we, like all secular Jews at the time, we would go to the Long Beach Island for Yiska services on Yom Kippur, and that's basically how I got a little bit acclimated to it. After my wife passed away, some time passed, and I met Irene, and the way we got involved was we were looking for a rabbi to marry us. And we eventually found the son of a rabbi that Irene knew, who was a cantor, and he wound up marrying us. And then, like everybody else, we were looking for places to go for Yiska. So somebody had mentioned Long Beach Island. So we went there for Yiska one time, and then we went back just to try it on a Friday night service, and we found that the community was very warm, opened their arms to us and invited us into the community. So after about a year, 6 months to a year of being a member there, I was asked to chair a committee. I knew I was probably getting in over my head, not knowing everything that I should at the time, but I had great support from presidents. And they helped me, and to this day, they still help me with everything that's going on at the JCC, and they are wealths of knowledge so that I don't fall. And then, because of COVID and closing almost my full year of my second term, I decided that, maybe I should run for a second term, which I did in August. And hopefully by this summer, the beginning of my second term, now we will be back at the JC and fully operational. So,
what are some of the rewarding aspects of serving as president, and then what are some of the challenges that you face?
The rewarding aspects are, I feel like that I'm making a mark. I'm supporting the community. I'm able to see things that are planned come to fruition. I mean, as weird as it sounds, COVID has actually been an asset to us, because we would have never thought of integrating the internet as part of our daily services and our daily activities. Now that we have, I don't foresee us going back a different direction. It was also nice taking the JCC, which was a small community, or not a small community, but a close-knit community, and trying to open it up to the rest of the Jewish community in Southern Ocean County, to make that more of a shining light of conservative Judaism down here in Southern Ocean County. The drawbacks, at a lot of times you're a one-man show, or in my case, a one-man and my wife, one-woman show. People assume that because you're president, you now become chief cook and bottle washer. And we are a unique synagogue, as many of them go, because we are a summer community where most of our members are snowbirds, and they spend their times either in Florida or back in their home areas, like the Philadelphia region, and basically just come down here for the summer to LBI. So that makes it a little bit more challenging to try to get things going in the winter months. So we have that challenge. We seem to be overcoming it again because of Zoom. So we are lucky that way. We are able to hold, right now, it being in December, we would probably be hard pressed to get a minion on a Friday night because of lack of people being in the area. But now, because of Zoom, we've been able not only to have our normal Friday and Saturday minions, we do a shotcrete morning service at 8:15, and we average at least 10 to 12 people there, or 10 to 12 hookups or Zoom links for that. And then Marv services during the week, we could have 12 to 15 people. And if the rabbi or there's an event following it, it can be 25 to 30. And Shabbat services on Friday night, because we're starting earlier than we would if we were open, we wind up having 30 to 35 members or hookups joining us on any given Friday night. So it's, I see that as being something that will remain with us going forward.
As president of the JCC, you have practical concerns that you're charged with, but also spiritual concerns. How do you hold both of those different elements?
It's interesting. Any Jewish community center, or it is, first and foremost, it is a religious institution. But secondly, it is a business, and we need to run it as a business. But we also have to keep our mind on the fact that we can't be just doing it for a financial benefit. You need to be able to look at a congregant who comes to you and says, I've been unemployed for a year and a half. I still want to be a viable member of the community, but I just can't afford to pay the dues. So you can't be cold-hearted and say to them, well, if you can't pay the minimal fee of $500, which is nominal, considering most synagogues are into the thousands for membership. And if you have children and Hebrew schools, it even adds up to more than that. But to say to somebody who says that I can't afford it, and you tell them that you can't belong, that's not Judaism. That's not what we are designed to do. When the community, whether it be Jewish or non-Jewish community, needs support, that's what the JCC is there to do. And we have to keep that first and foremost in our minds, that yeah, we are a business, but we are a business of religion. And we have to keep in the tenets of our faith to make sure that we are taking care of those that are in need.
So for anyone watching this video who may currently be a member or who's considering becoming a member, why is it important for people to become actively involved with the JCC?
Allison, that's a good question. I remember many years ago when I was in Old Bridge. My first wife and I had no children at the time, and we unfortunately we never did. But my eye doctor, I was in for an eye exam, and he noticed that I had a Star of David on, and he said to me, "Are you affiliated with any synagogue?" I said, "No, I don't have any children." He said, "But you're a Jew living in a community that has a synagogue. Why don't you belong?" So it kind of struck me as being something profound, that you don't necessarily have to be have children to become part of a community, to support a Jewish community. I grew up in Woodbridge Township, New Jersey, in the 60s, when they had 4 synagogues. They had one in Colonia, one in Avenel, the one I belonged to in Island, and one in Woodbridge. Woodbridge Township today has 0 Jewish affiliations, not one. And you're seeing more and more of that. And as a Jew, you should take some sort of obligation, or that may be too strong, but take some sort of interest in the Jewish community that you live in to support them. And it's viable that, to keep a synagogue going, to support the spiritual needs of not just those people, but other Jewish people in the area. You have to keep their doors open, and that costs money.
What are some of your favorite things about the JCC of LBI?
It's the warmth. The people are extremely warm. Whenever people that we find that are new coming in, people show up for a Friday night service or something during the summer, we try to make them feel welcome and inviting. And I think that we stress the warmth, and that was what I found when Irene and I first became involved, and that's something that I to this day try to do. Try to go up to people new and introduce myself and ask them what they think and show them around. We're open and we're warm, and the fact that we may belong to the Jewish Federation, but we don't belong to United Synagogue is important to us, because we allow families of mixed marriages to have a single membership or be members. I mean, we have members of the community that one of the spouses is not Jewish, but they're as active as their Jewish spouse, or more so in some cases. So that's important, because in other communities that would be shunned upon. You can't be part of it because you're not Jewish. Well, you can be part of it because you want to be. And I think that's important. That's something different than United Synagogue and the conservative movement pushes. We're fortunate to have a rabbi that's extremely flexible and willing to do things. I mean, I don't know many synagogues where the rabbis will conduct Shabbat services or in our case, the Yom Kippur services via Zoom. Rabbi Jay, who is conservative, who keeps kosher, stepped up to the plate and did it because he realized that was the right thing to do. And eventually the conservative movement said, yeah, I mean, in a time of crisis, we do what we have to do. The fact that once the crisis is over and we're still able to do it is a testament to the rabbis looking forward to the growth of the JCC.
Speaking of looking forward, what are your hopes for the future of the JCC?
My hopes are that our membership keeps on expanding. I would like to see more of the Jews that are in the adult communities realize that we're here for them. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the JCC bring in members from Egg Harbor Township and Tuckerton and Barnegat and Manahawkin and places like that may have a Jewish community, some sort of Jewish presence, and don't realize that we're here. I consider us, and I've said it several times in various things I've written and in speaking to people, that we are the best unknown secret of Judaism in Southern Ocean County. I mean, people just don't realize that we're here unless they stumble upon us. And we need to do more of an outreach that some of the other communities are doing now. And that's something I need to stress, is that we need to make our name more prevalent in Southern Ocean County than it is right now. I would love to see young people move down into this area. Highly unlikely, but yet we're seeing a switch now with young people, because of telecommuting, bringing their families down onto the island. Where there's been an increase in the public schools on the island. So who knows? I mean, I would love to see a congregant, instead of a congregant's grandchild being bar or bat mitzvah in the JCC. I'd like to see a congregant who had their son's bris or their daughter's baby naming by our rabbi in the JCC live to see their children be bar mitzvah in the JCC. I think that would be a beautiful thing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your time and your passion today. Your commitment to the JCCs is very clear, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Allison. It was a pleasure talking to you.